Hey class, this is Dr. Diaz talking to you about many things in this video. I'm going to go over the Module 5 work review and just let you know some feedback from your work in Module 5. And I know this is weird, but I'm also going to tell you the Module 7 expectations. I'm still grading Module 6. There's a lot to be done there. So let's just get going here. So Module 5. I've got my laptop here pulled up in front of me, and this is going to be really brief, not too much to talk about in Module 5. You guys are doing a great job. And Module 5, the discussion portion, really great. The only time I saw people not getting full credit or not reaching the fullness was just not doing all 3 posts. So you've got 3 required posts. So if 2 are done, 2/3 is completed, so 2/3 is earned of the points. Gotta love statistics and numbers. If 1 post is done, that's 1/3 of the work, so 1/3 of the 20 points is given if you meet the rubric criteria. And the short paper for Module 5, you guys were doing really well. A lot of you just didn't nail in the very first section. It said to discuss how a large sample size may not be good for randomization. So I didn't see that in some of the papers explicitly discussing. You guys did a great job in the first section talking about how randomization is good, but then just didn't cover the section of the large sample size. So that's all I've got for the Module 5. A good segue into the Module 7 discussion, or topic I'm going to have in a second, is I'm looking at your Module 6 work. Now, we've got 10 modules. Half of our work has been done, and Module 6 starts the second half of our course, and I'm seeing this is where the struggle is real. I'm getting a lot of missed assignments. I'm assuming some of them are going to be late, a lot of work, and rightly so. This is a big change in the game. We're moving into the second half of our course together. There is a lot to do. Okay, and you had 3 things on Module 6. You had to do your discussion, you had to do your SPSS assignment, and you had to do your final project paper. That's a lot to do in 1 week, so I understand why a lot's still to be turned in, but we gotta remember to get that stuff in on time. And again, I'm going to talk about Module 6 once I'm finished grading it, but I do want to make that transition to 7 and say, I see that there's a lot of struggles going on from starting with Module 6 forward. I know SPSS and the data work is, if you've never done it before, it could be a little bit overwhelming. Take your time, get to know it, look at tutorials, watch YouTube videos. Your final paper coming together. I'm going to talk more about that when I'm done grading everything, and your discussions as well. So remember, I see it, I'm aware, I can see that a lot of you guys are working really hard. I'm well aware of that. Thank you, by the way, for all your emails that you send me. I'm trying to help you out the best I can in all respects and in all areas, and we'll just continue to do that because you guys are doing really well. So just, I would have to say is give yourself time, organization skills, polish them up, get that responsibility of time management, because I think this is the portion, the time of the class where we really shifted into high gear, and the work becomes not so much more challenging, it just becomes more time consuming. That's a great way to think about that, is the work you're going to be doing is going to become far more time consuming. You're going to have to learn more on your own. You're going to have to research things. You're going to have trial and error. You're going to have to figure out how to put in the box plots and histograms. There's just going to be a lot of new things, new and exciting things that you haven't done before. At this point, that's going to be in our second half of our course together. Doesn't mean you can't do it. I believe in you. I know you can do it. You just got to give yourself the time to do it. That's all it is. So let's talk about Module 7. I'm pulling the work up for Module 7. You guys get a breather for Module 7. There is a lot you did in Module 6, and now you get a breather, and there's not as much intense work for Module 7. And if you're thinking, Dr. Diaz, that says you, it's a lot for me. Well, I just coming off of 6, 7 looks a lot more, a lot less intensive. Okay, so let's start with the SPSS Assignment 3 for Module 7. If you don't have your stuff pulled up, now's a good time to pause the video and get your rubric, get your work ready as I talk about Module 7. Alright, and I'm pulling mine up here. Going to, I love our course is set up so well. Going to the learning modules, Module 7. There we are. Okay, so let's talk about Assignment 3 for SPSS, okay? So, in this one, you are going to learn about scatter plots. Scatter plots are awesome because you've just finished in Module 6 talking to me about outliers. And when you see a scatter plot, you're going to look and you'll be able to visually see your outliers. And a scatter plot can start to show you the direction your data is headed. Usually, oftentimes on a scatter plot, all the little dots, it looks like when someone shoots a shotgun at a target range, you got all these scattered dots. And those dots are your participants. And the ones that are way off in left field here and way over here, but all your dots are centralized and you've got a dot here or a dot up here, those are going to be your outliers. In this assignment, you're going to examine some data and you're going to make a scatter plot. If you're having trouble putting the picture of the scatter plot from SPSS into your Word doc, you can hit print screen for you window users and go and open an art file, an art program, and I think it's called Paint, and copy paste, and it will put your screen onto the Paint doc, and you can highlight and crop out the picture of the scatter plot. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google print screen image on Google. Okay, so in your putting down scatter plots, you're also going to be doing a matrix scatter plot. And again, all these things are in SPSS, and you can find them. You can find them online on how to do this. You're going to be examining correlations and going into question 4 in the Module 7 SPSS Assignment 3. Create a correlation matrix that depicts the correlation between sales, adverts, and airplay. So you got 3 sets of data, and SPSS actually gives you your output. So this assignment is all about giving me the right output. You're going to put the correct output in there, and then you're going to have some questions. And you're going to give different open-ended questions for 5A, B, C, such as describe the correlation that exists in your hypothetical data. Is it positive or negative? Is it significant? These are things you should be able to answer with the data that you have and what you know so far about correlations and significant levels. So this SPSS Assignment 3 is pretty straightforward. Again, I think the most difficulty is going to be in understanding how to navigate SPSS and understanding this concept of what scatter plots are, which all these things, there are things readily available to assist you online, just looking into Google. Okay, the second thing, which is odd because it's going to be our discussion post, is we want to talk about this because I want to make sure you're going to do this correctly, because I want you to get all the points you can and I don't want you to miss out on any opportunities. I'm going to talk to you about this discussion, Module 7 discussion. I'm going to read it to you first because it's easy and it's nice to start somewhere. The discussion assignment has 2 components. First, choose an article from the popular news media, which is an article that might appear on a website meant for general public. This is yahoo.com, CNN.com, foxnews.com for all you Fox News lovers. This is basically, it's meant for general public consumption. This is weird because this goes against everything I tell you, but it's only for this assignment, okay? Don't give me a peer-reviewed article. I know, right? That was hard to sink in. I'm always telling you, and you always should use them, but we're doing a twist with this assignment, okay? So I want you to go to a general public website. Yahoo is like the main go-to one for me. So what you're going to do is find a story that misinterprets correlation as causation. You know what that means? If you were to go to Yahoo's front page and you see one of their random news titles and it says something like, Wonder Drug linked to heal all symptoms. That sounds like a causation, right? And they're not saying Wonder Drug may or may not be correlated with healing, although other factors may be the reason why. They're not going to tell you that. So that's a good example of how an article is going to misinterpret correlation as causation. So go look for an article that's bogus out there that says something like, oh gosh, you see them as advertisements on websites when you read articles. They say something like, click here to find out this magic pill that caused this lady to lose all this weight and look amazing, right? They're trying to get your attention. So find a bogus article that makes a claim that is misinterpreting correlation for causation. And then talk about this in your discussion. Why is the author's interpretation of the topic a mistake? For this portion of the assignment, you may choose an article, and this is great. You have a resource in case you can't find any online. And I'm reading this all from your discussion tab in our class for Module 7.2, Discussion Correlation. So it says, you may choose an article featured on the Correlation or Causation website. That's a great place. Visit it. You don't have to use it, but you can. I recommend doing that if you want to save time. You can go look and find one. Now so that's your first half. So let's recap a little quickly. This discussion has two parts. I just finished the first part. The first part is you go and find a bogus article that mistakes correlation as causation. An outrageous claim is made. And then answer those questions. You're going to say, why is the author's interpretation of the topic a mistake? I think that this is a mistake because X does not always cause Y, and there's other reasons, and you're going to talk to me about that. And the second part of this discussion piece, this is all your initial post, by the way. For the second portion, choose one of the articles that you have read in your final project. There's your empirical article coming to save the day. Go back to your annotated bibliography. I know you guys put 8 or more sources, so let's go refer back to there. And it says, choose one of the articles you have read for your final project. Describe how the results from one of the articles, preferably a correlation, could be misinterpreted and misconstrued by a news source. What might the misleading headline be, and why would it be misleading? So, let me give you a made-up example. If I was doing this work, and my research claim is fish oil heals migraines. I want to know that. Does fish oil heal migraines? That's my research question. I did an annotated bibliography. I've got 8 or more sources on this topic or surrounding the topic. I'm going to go to my annotated bib. I'm going to look at all those articles. I'm going to go, I'm picking this article because this one says fish oil is linked to the relief of constant migraines. Okay, it's linked. Okay, I'm going to read it over. And the second part of this discussion says, how might the results be misinterpreted and misconstrued by a news source? So that basically means, how could the news screw this up? Okay, how could the news mess that up? The empirical research says fish oil may be linked to the relief of migraines. And what I would do in my second part of this discussion for 7 is say, the article I chose within my research project is Smith and Johnson 2012, put the site in, you're going to reference it, where the results showed that fish oil actually was linked to the relief of migraines in people of XYZ. However, their results showed that not only was fish oil, but exercise as well, those who exercised too, showed relief in migraines. So that's the real study from your annotated bib. And then you continue and say, the way the media could misinterpret this and twist it around is they could easily publish a headline that says fish oil heals migraines and tell everybody that if they go and buy fish oil, that they are going to no longer have headaches. Now that is a misinterpretation of correlation as causation. So it's a bogus claim. So go tell me how the results of one of your articles could be, how the news could turn it into a bogus claim. There you go. That's the second half. Oh gosh, I just saw a commercial the other day about honey, the use of honey, and when bees make honey, that if there's some type of honey that has like miracle properties for your hair. Hair is like one of the biggest gimmicks, right? Like hair regrowth is a big one. So they claim, oh, take this pill, take this type of honey, and your hair will regrow. That's bogus. We all know that's correlation misinterpreted as causation. Another one I found, and this is real, was for emu oil. And they say, rub emu oil on your head and your hair will grow back. Sounds like it's too good to be true. So that is the expectations for Module 7, and I briefly talked about the review for Module 5 work. I hope you're doing well and that these videos are helping you out, and I look forward to seeing your work. So go forth, do great things, and get your Module 6 work into me if you haven't already. And remember, Module 7's a little lighter, so enjoy the relief of the work from coming off of 6. Alright guys, take care. Bye-bye.